An Australian-funded counter-terrorism unit in West Papua is facing new accusations of abusing its power in the troubled Indonesian province. The notorious squad, known as Detachment 88, has launched a fresh crackdown on independence activists in the wake of an expose by this program in August. 8 men have been detained and accused of bomb-making. Separatist leaders claim the explosives were planted and they've been framed to justify the squad's activities. Hayden Cooper has this report.
Jayapura, West Papua is a city marred by violence and tension, where independence leaders have been arrested, beaten, killed, and where police have been confronted by unruly and angry demonstrations. When 730 travelled to the province in August, the crackdown on the independence movement was already severe, resulting in several deaths, including of this man, independence leader Mako Taboni, shot in this street, witnesses say, by the Australian-trained and funded police unit, Detachment 88.
Clearly, it was them who killed him because we saw them shoot him and take him to their hospital.
Since then, the crackdown has worsened. Victor Yamo succeeded Tabuni as leader of the West Papua National Committee, or KNPB. This week, he sent this video to 730.
We are the non-violent activists in West Papua. We will fight for our right of freedom according to the peaceful means in West Papua. We demand our right of self-determination through referendum to be held in West Papua by UN peacefully and democratically.
But the Indonesian authorities don't believe his claim of non-violence, and they're pursuing KNPB like never before. In June, Indonesian soldiers went on a rampage in the highlands town and KNPB stronghold of Waena. And now, in a new development, police have raided the homes and offices of KNPB members in the area. Last weekend, 8 were arrested, and witnesses say once again, Detachment 88 was involved.
I think the anti-rebels in one, they saw the Densus act with one car and another car by police joining by TNI.
Indonesian police accused the 8 KNPB members arrested of making bombs and claim to have found explosives during the raid. Victor Yamo rejects that and says his group is being framed as terrorists to justify Detachment 88's presence.
This is how Indonesia is now making scenario with the terrorist issue in West Papua. As you know that West Papua, we never know how to make a bomb, how to create bomb.
Some international observers and West Papuan advocates back that view.
I don't think that KNPB has any reason to be making bombs because they believe in a peaceful approach to pursuing independence. They want a referendum on independence in West Papua.
In West Papua, the Institute for Human Rights Advocacy, known as ELSHAM, has studied the arrests and suspects the explosives recovered by police were part of an elaborate setup.
They don't have the capacity to gain the materials, so ELSHAM has actually said that the materials were probably planted in the KNPB members' houses where they found the explosives, and that's not an unusual thing for security forces to do.
The weekend raids follow the appointment of a new police chief in Papua, Brigadier General Tito Carnavian. His background as the former head of Detachment 88 generates serious unease among some Papuans, despite his assurances of a new inclusive approach.
They will be opposed to his former role as the head of Densus 88 and as a police chief. It doesn't seem to mesh with his new approach of working with, to win the hearts and minds of Papuans.
I have no doubt there'll be definitely more crackdowns on KNPB members and those who are very active and very vocal in pursuing and calling for independence for West Papua. And that is for sure. That's one thing that Jakarta is aiming, to shutting down political activists in West Papua.
Ronnie Kareni is one of many West Papuans living in Australia. He uses music to promote the independence cause on behalf of his friends at home.
Every day, like, I got SMS coming through my phone, and the information is that their lives are under intimidation and they always live in state of fear and they're being followed. And it's sad, but this is the reality in West Papua.
7:30 put several questions to the Indonesian government but received no reply. Attempts to contact the new Papuan police chief were also unsuccessful.
Indonesian Detachment 88, funded by Australian US.
As for Victor Yamo, he is pushing for the release of the 8 activists arrested on the weekend. And with his supporters here, he's pressuring Australia to rethink its funding for Detachment 88.
The Papuans will be pretty much living like prisoners in our own land, where our movement, what we do, will be censored, will be monitored, will be followed. And as I said, there's no room for democracy at all.
Hayden Cooper reporting.